What's up, pro wrestling fans? I'm here to let you know about a great show that just happened tonight, live in Mishawaka, Indiana at the Patel Center. Pro Wrestling King debuted live inside the Patel Center for one of the best family-friendly pro wrestling shows you'll ever want to see. So if you weren't able to make it, hopefully this video will give you a brief recap and maybe entice you to see the next show, which is July 13th, 2013 in Bourbon, Indiana. Vincent Crawley and Father Time teamed up to take on Xavier Justice and Cody Manning. Very interesting matchup. Did you know that Father Time is the only legally blind pro wrestler in history? He debuted, he actually had 3 strokes. Can you believe that? And he is a cancer survivor. I'm not making it up. Google it. He is an established veteran, and he truly can really do some great moves. He picked up Cody Manning, and he threw him outside the top rope. It was crazy. Onto that hard concrete floor. They were able to get the win. It was a very interesting matchup. I mean, this is a man who legally, he cannot drive. He's a blind man, and he is doing his best. He is a great mat performer, but he was throwing some punches, and he definitely did not pull any back. He was going all out. I'd certainly give a lot of credit to that man. And his protege Crawley was doing a great job as well. Very good opening contest. I was interrupted for the second match to have one of the most, one of the managers with the most flair that you've ever seen in PWK, Cheddar Blancy, came out, and he decided to cut a little promo akin to the classic yesteryear of pro wrestling, the foundation of wrestling, and the Carney style, and he made a $500 open challenge that any PWK superstar could, if any PWK superstar could last 7 minutes against Big Russ Jones, then they would get $500. So a newcomer to PWK, Aiden Murphy, came out, and unfortunately he wasn't able to last 7 minutes. He lasted about 3 minutes. Big Russ Jones got that win. Right then, though, Ames, the man only known as Ames, came out, and he was enticed by Cheddar Blansky to potentially become the latest in Chet's arsenal of superstars. Brutus Dillon came out, and they kind of had some words and a little violence, the here and there, and they decided that they're going to have a match later in the evening between Ames and Big Brutus Dillon. Ames, he's not a small man, but compared to Brutus Dillon, this is like a David and Goliath contest. Brutus Dillon's got a good 200 pounds on Ames, so that set the crowd abuzz right then, Our third match of the evening was the very first ever intergender match in PWK. It was Matt Fantasy taking on K.O. Kendra. If you say K.O. Kendra without going like this, K.O. Kendra, then you're missing out, because K.O. Kendra, she killed it. This was a very interesting matchup. Kendra is definitely one of the best lady wrestlers I've seen. She mixes her boxing expertise with her grappling, and it was a very interesting matchup. I mean, Matt Fantasy definitely has some weight on her, obviously, and he's a little taller, but KO Kendra, she was too much for the guy. She got that win. She's got this flying leg drop. It's crazy. It's something you need to see. I would definitely recommend looking on YouTube or for these matchups, or the DVD, which will be available at the next show, which is July 13th, 2013. Then we had a triple threat match with the One-Man Wonderland and the new nerd Alex Race and Matt Starr, a.k.a. Bobby Hill. The crowd hates Matt Starr, Bobby Hill, with a passion. a very interesting matchup. Two big guys taking on your Noah Walker, who is more your classic build superstar. It was a very interesting triple threat matchup. Triple threats are all, there's so many different variables. One superstar's in, two are out. What happens there? The Nerd Alex race. He's got a new change of heart. He's definitely a fan favorite now. This is the first I've ever seen him as a fan favorite. The crowd loved him. This is something you might want to check into. Alex Race is a good guy. I never thought I'd say it. Never thought I'd see it. Never thought I'd say it. Good for him. It's definitely a nice change of pace. Good job in that matchup between the three. Noah Walker, I definitely see some big things coming out of him. And Matt Starr, he's always rising up. Shining Matt Starr, a.k.a. Arlen, Texas' own Bobby Hill. You're rising as well, buddy. Then we had number one contendership for the PWK titles, which will be on the line on July 13th, 2013, between Denzel Bishop and D'Angelo Steele, taking on Team YOLO, a.k.a. Just Amazing and The Prodigy. These guys, the first 3-4 minutes of the match was just pure chain wrestling. A lot of flips, a lot of back and forth. Can you top me? Oh, I can top you. Let me see you do it. They did it. Flips, headstands, crazy athleticism. These are 4 guys that are just athletes. I mean, this is, I'd say, in the top 3 of the night matches. You can look up any of my videos. I'm always telling you, Denzel Bishop is one of the best peer superstars in the Midwest. Look for him to eventually have a title very soon, because he is, along with D'Angelo Steele, are the new number one contenders for the PWK titles. They won back and forth matchup. This match is worth the ticket price alone. One of the top 3 matches of the night, in my opinion. Great job between all 4 men involved. This is not the last we'll see of these guys. I certainly can attest to that. Then we had Mike the Moose Musso and Preston Churchill. This is an interesting matchup. 2 big guys taking on. I've never seen Musso with such hate and animosity in his heart. He was hating the fans. He was threatening to hit the fans. Preston Churchill is a big fan favorite, and things kind of changed a little bit. Preston knocked out the referee after he was submitted by Musso. But the fans kind of liked it. They apparently didn't like the ref too much, but Preston got, I think, his right arm yanked out of the socket, and he wanted to use the left arm, and he knocked the crap out of the ref. He was the first man to ever make the son of a living legend, Oxbaker Jr., bleed at the last PWK show. So, is this a new blood for Preston? I'm not sure. Could be. Then we had our crowning moment in our co-main event, the very first ever PWK Tag Team Champions. It was determined between Southern Comfort, which is Kevin Storm, and the International Outlaw Chris Reigns, a.k.a. Southern Comfort, taking on the son of a living legend, Oxbaker Jr., and Hardcore Harry, a.k.a. Mean and Harry. This is a very interesting matchup between these guys. A lot of history between these guys. A lot of hate. Mean and Harry is a good matchup. These guys have had a lot of feuds. They've finally been able to put all their animosity against each other on the back burner just for a moment to finally get the gold. This is the first ever PWK tag title champions, and they were able to use all their experience together to defeat Southern Comfort. I'm definitely looking forward to this interesting matchup on July 13th, 2013, between Mean and Harry taking on the number one contenders, D'Angelo Steele and Denzel Bishop. You know, two varying styles between the different teams. Uh, youth and athleticism taking on experience and ruthlessness. So, I mean, who are you going to bet on there? It's going to be crazy. Then, in our co-main event, we had Ames taking on Brutus Dillon. There was a lot of back and forth matches between these two. Obviously, Ames is about a foot and a half shorter, 200 pounds lighter than Brutus. Brutus being the bad guy he is, man, he brought his 35-pound chain in there, and he used J.B. Blackwell, his agent, at his disposal as much as he could. I definitely, I give Ames a lot of credit for trying his best, and he actually used J.B. Blackwell against Brutus. The ref got turned around as the 35-pound chain went. It distracted Brutus. Then he used J.B. Blackwell's heavy briefcase and smacked the holy hell out of Brutus. Then he did one of the funniest things I've ever seen in wrestling. He did the trust fall, and he fell, and he pinned Brutus Dillon. Effing brutal Brutus Dillon got pinned by Ames. It wasn't so much an aerial assault Ames, as I like to say. It was outwit, outlast, outplay Ames, and I give him a lot of credit. He is a survivor tonight. This sets up for the main event of the evening, Rampage. The Maze Rage Rampage taking on Lance Storie, the Ascending Angel Lance Storie. Unfortunately, this match was supposed to take place the previous PWK show, but Brutus Dillon and his trusty tire iron took out Rampage before the show started. Rampage was unable to do it. Unable to make it. He was in the hospital. So these guys had a brutal match. A lot of back and forth, pure hate between these guys. Rampage, he made. I feel bad for Lance because he got the holy crap beat out of him for a good portion of the first half. Rampage did all the dirty things that I've never seen Rampage do. He stepped on Lance's hair, his spikes of fury, and he broke his spikes. I couldn't believe it. He pummeled him a lot of the match, but Lance was able to get the conniption, and he was able to rise above. He was able to ascend, if you want to say. We had Brutus come in the ring and totally just decimate Lance with one of the most brutal kicks I've ever seen. Then we had Ames come out and just totally put a swerve on everything. We thought Ames was going to come out and protect Lance, but no, he thwacked him over the head with that belt. Full force, no give there, man. That had to have left a black eye, or two black eyes for all I know. Frau Farbissina, just. What we had was Rampage, Brutus, and Ames grabbing the title over the near lifeless corpse of Lance Storie, who was still the champ. He retained. But we had these three guys taking the title in each direction. Then they throw the title down on Lance. Lance Storie grabs the microphone from me and he says, June is over. July is next month at the next PWK show. I will take on all three of you in a match. I'll put the title on the line. It takes a lot of courage for a champion to challenge one person, but what does it say about Lance that he will take on all three of his adversaries at one time? In a stipulation match that will be determined at a later date, maybe check out a YouTube video for that. Check out PWK on Facebook to find that out. But hats off to all the guys, all the refs, the sound guys, the ring announcer, the ticket guy, the merch booth people. They did a heck of a job. I really enjoyed this show. I hope you get to see the show. Check out the next show on July 13th, 2013, and the DVD will be available for purchase. And remember to check out Pro Wrestling King on Facebook, and please share this video if you had a good time hearing me talk about it. I love talking about wrestling. Hit the subscribe button. Please share it. Leave a comment. I'll subscribe to you. I'll comment right back. Y'all have a great day, and see you at the next show.